The bell above the door gave a tired jingle as the man stepped inside. Shadows clung to his face beneath a weather-beaten cap, a scruffy beard disguising secrets too dangerous for daylight. To the world, he looked like a nobody, just another drifter blowing through town. But under that modest exterior beat the heart of Keanu Reeves, not the action star, not today. Today, he was something else entirely. The incognito CEO of Beanhaven Coffee, a once-beloved empire of 15 cafes slipping quietly into decline. He hadn't entered one of his own shops in years, not since the whispers began. Plummeting sales, disillusioned staff, a warmth that once defined Beanhaven now replaced by something colder, meaner. Kindness had become a stranger, and Keanu couldn't ignore it any longer. He was no longer the polished executive smiling from magazine covers. Today he was just Mark, a ghost in his own kingdom, armed with a gnawing suspicion and sharp eyes. And what he saw next stopped him dead in his tracks. A man stood at the counter, trembling, dirt-streaked clothes. A plastic bag gripped like a lifeline, rejected, dismissed, something twisted in Keanu's gut. Why had mercy become such a foreign language here? Stick around, dear viewer. Ask yourself, what would you do if the truth stared back through your own reflection? Keanu adjusted the thick glasses on his nose, tugged his cap lower, the fake beard itching with every breath. In the reflection of a car window, he barely recognized himself. No trace of the CEO who built Beanhaven from scratch. Just Mark, a stranger with a mission. For weeks, warning signs had piled up like unpaid bills. Complaints, resignations, excuses from middle management wrapped in corporate jargon. But Keanu's instincts, the same ones that built an empire, screamed something worse was festering. So he went rogue. No PR filter. No security. Just raw truth, straight from the source. The location he chose sat in a quiet, middle-class neighborhood. Not flashy, not failing, but the red flags had been waving long enough. As he entered, the usual sounds of clinking mugs and murmured conversations filled the air. But there was something else: apathy. The staff moved with the energy of a dying battery. Behind the counter, a young cashier fumbled orders, her hands jittery. No backup, no urgency. To the side stood Lisa, the new manager, eyes glued to her phone. Her posture screamed one thing: I don't care. Keanu's jaw tensed. This was the arising star his regional team had praised. He'd see about that. Then, movement. Near the door, a ragged man hesitated. Torn clothing, haunted eyes. A plastic bag clutched to his chest like it held his soul. He took one tentative step inside. Whoa. Lisa snapped to attention. Her phone dropped, her eyes narrowed. Hey you, out. Her voice cracked through the cafe like a whip. We don't serve people like you. The man flinched. Just water, he whispered. I'm not bothering anyone. This isn't a charity, Lisa snarled. Yet lost before I call the cops. Keanu felt the slow burn of rage crawl up his spine. The man's shoulders collapsed. His mouth opened, then closed. Sorry, he mumbled, turning. That was it. Wait. Keanu's voice cut through the tension. Quiet, controlled. Dangerous. Lisa froze. Her eyes snapped toward him. This doesn't concern you, she spat, but he was already moving. You just want water, right? He asked the man. A hesitant nod. I'll leave after. I promise. Keanu turned to Lisa. It's just water. Why can't he have a cup? Her voice dripped venom. People like him scare off real customers. You wouldn't get it. The words hit harder than expected. Keanu's fist clenched. He forced his rage down, letting Mark speak. Then I'll pay, he said. I'll give him water and a meal. Lisa opened her mouth, but something in his stare made her think twice. She scoffed. Fine. Your money? Keanu handed the man a cup. Take your time, he said softly. The rest of the shift confirmed it. Lisa ignored spills, snapped at a teen barista asking about schedules, and rolled her eyes at an elderly man needing help at the sugar station. Meanwhile, was a one-woman army, wiping counters, restocking supplies, even apologizing for Lisa's failures. Keanu shadowed her, collecting data, watching morale bleed from the edges. Does she ever pitch in? He asked casually during a lull, nodding toward Lisa. I hesitated, glanced toward the back. Not really. Says managing doesn't mean grunt work. Keanu's stomach churned. Lisa disengaged. Lisa disengaged. Leadership vacuum. Morale critically low. The hours dragged, tension rising. A young couple sent back their drinks cold. Lisa scoffed. Deal with it, she muttered, then vanished behind her screen again. Na apologized, remade the drinks, and wilted under Lisa's watchful. Keanu leaned over while wiping a nearby table. How do you keep going? He asked, quiet. She shrugged, voice almost inaudible. I need the job. My brother's in school. I help out. And some customers are nice. He nodded. Respect hardened inside him. She was the heartbeat of this shop. And Lisa? Lisa was choking it out. By shift's end, Keanu's notebook brimmed with evidence. This wasn't a one-time slip. It was a culture of neglect, rooted in rot. He was going to burn it down, brick by brick. The next day, the lunch rush had barely calmed when Keanu found himself wiping a counter beside Na. The weight of 2 days' intel pressing in his apron pocket like a concealed weapon. He had planned to wait, to gather more, but the crack came early. The door swung open. A young woman stepped in, coat frayed, toddler clinging to her leg, diaper bag sagging off one shoulder. The child whimpered. Shh. It's okay, she whispered, guiding him forward. Can I just get a small coffee? She asked Na, her voice polite but fragile. Before Na could ring it up, the child's whimpers erupted into a sharp cry, slicing through the cafe like broken glass. The woman crouched, whispering to soothe him, and Lisa appeared, with venom that the scent of burned espresso still lingered in the air, mixing with adrenaline and disbelief. Lisa was gone, but the crater she left behind yawned wide. The tray she'd hurled lay sideways near the register, plastic cups strewn across the tile like battlefield debris. Phones were still raised. The espresso machine hissed, but the shop had gone quiet in that stunned, post-storm kind of way. Keanu turned toward Na. You've been the backbone here, he said, voice calm but resolute. I saw it yesterday and I saw it today, especially with that mother. I'm promoting you to assistant manager. Effective immediately. Na blinked, stunned. Me? Are you sure? Her voice was small, trembling under the weight of the moment. Keanu nodded. I've never been more sure. You've got heart. You've got grit. That's what Beanhaven needs. Around them, staff murmured, some nodding, some exchanging glances that hovered between relief and disbelief. Keanu raised his voice. Keanu raised his voice. Lisa's gone. She's not coming back. I let this place slide too long, and that's on me. But starting today, we fix it. He let the silence hang for a moment. You will get the support you've needed. Real leadership. Respect. Starting tomorrow, a new manager joins us. She's from our downtown store, and trust me, she knows how to run a team. He scanned their faces, some hopeful, some guarded. That was okay. He hadn't earned their trust yet, but he would. The stick with me, he added. We're not alone anymore. The crowd thinned. A few customers came forward to quietly thank him. One of the teen baristas retrieved the fallen cups, glancing toward Keanu like she couldn't quite believe what had just happened. Na still stood nearby, hands tucked into her apron, blinking back a second wave of tears. Hey! Hey! He said gently. You okay? She exhaled slowly. I think so. Just overwhelmed. Yeah, Keanu said with a wry smile. Me too. He moved through the shop, quietly checking in with each employee, asking names, listening, not just playing boss, but being there. One barista admitted she'd been planning to quit. Another said she'd been too scared to ask for a schedule change for weeks. Keanu took notes, real ones this time. Not undercover, not secret. Out front, the single mother sat at a small table, her coffee untouched, her toddler now sleeping in her lap. Keanu approached quietly. Well, ma'am, he said softly, I just wanted to check in. I'm so sorry for how you were treated. She looked up, eyes tired but grateful. I didn't know who you were. I just wanted coffee and a quiet moment. Understand, he said. And you'll never be treated like that in one of our stores again. That's a promise. She nodded. Thank you. Back behind the counter, Na had started wiping things down, resetting the space like she always did, quietly holding the place together. Keanu walked over. You don't have to clean up everything yourself. She gave him a small smile. Force of habit. He grabbed a rag and joined her. I meant what I said, he added. Assistant manager. You've got a say in how this shop runs now. Use it." Na's expression changed, not just gratitude but resolve. For the first time since he'd arrived, Keanu saw hope rising behind those hazel eyes. By closing time, Beanhaven felt different. Not fixed, not perfect, but healing. The tension had cracked. A shift had begun. Keanu stood at the door as the last customers filtered out. Staff waved awkward goodbyes, still unsure how to interact with the undercover CEO who'd torn the mask off their nightmare boss. Na lingered by the register, collecting her things. "You did good today," he said. She looked at him, that same flicker of tired humor in her gaze. "You too. For a fake barista, you pour a decent latte." He laughed, really laughed, for the first time in days. Then he stepped outside, the chill of evening wrapping around him like clarity. This shop had been broken. Lisa had made sure of that. But now it could breathe again. Tomorrow, Clara would arrive. Tomorrow they'd rebuild. But tonight, Keanu Reeves walked into the dark with a lighter heart and the knowledge that even in a world of coffee and chaos, you could still change things. One cup, one person, one stand at a time. 2 weeks had passed since Keanu Reeves unmasked himself at Beanhaven, and the coffee shop hummed with new life. The tension that once choked the air had lifted. Customers lingered over steaming cups, their chatter blending with the soft whir of the espresso machine. Clara's steady leadership had taken root, her calm, direct style turning chaos into order. Schedules were consistent. Broken machines were fixed. New hires were trained with care. And now proudly wearing her assistant manager badge, had grown into her role with quiet grace. She delegated tasks with more confidence, even joked with regulars between orders. The staff respected her. The customers loved her. Keanu watched it unfold from his usual corner table, no longer undercover, no longer needed on the floor. He smiled at the sight of a teenage barista helping an elderly man with his order, and at Clara gently coaching a nervous new hire during the lunch rush. It was working. They were healing. But peace has a way of making secrets echo louder. It started with a receipt. Keanu had gone into the back office for a quick look at the inventory system. Just habit, really, when he noticed the printer blinking. A slip of paper poked out. It wasn't a supply receipt. It was a message. "He's still watching. Hang in there." Elia's stomach tightened. "Lisa." He double-checked the printer's queue. There were no recent incoming faxes. Someone had manually typed the note on the staff terminal, then printed it. Keanu's fingers hovered above the keyboard, hesitating. He'd assumed she was gone for good, fired, exposed, and out of their lives. He glanced around. Clara restocked tea tins with her usual quiet efficiency. Na laughed with a customer, radiant and relaxed. Nothing felt off until she slipped out the side door, phone clutched tight, her face drawn and serious. Curious, Keanu edged toward the window, careful not to draw attention. Outside, Na paced the alley, her voice low and sharp. "Elisa, I told you." "I can't," she hissed into the phone. "They trust me now. Stop pushing." Keanu's heart sank. "And Na, and Lisa." He waited until she returned, then quietly asked her to join him in the office. His voice low, but firm. "I heard you outside," he said gently. "What's Lisa got on you?" Na froze. Her face shifted from panic to guilt. "It's not, I didn't mean," she stammered. Keanu leaned in, steady. "Na, I need the truth. I've got your back." Tears broke loose as she slumped into the chair. "She's been calling, texting, saying she'll leave, that I stole money if I don't help her ruin you," Na whispered. "I was scared. If I lose this job, my brother's school, our rent," Keanu's hands balled into fists, but not at her. At Lisa, at what fear had twisted. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked. Na sniffed. "I thought I could fix it quietly." He nodded slowly, understanding etched across his features. "You shouldn't have had to carry that." He called Clara in. "Lisa's been harassing Na," he said. "And we're stopping it. Today." Clara's expression didn't waver, but she's still gold, Keanu. "We protect her." Keanu turned to Na. "You're getting a raise enough to breathe easier. And Lisa? She shows up again, we get legal. You're safe." Na's eyes welled up again, this time with relief. "I won't let you down." Keanu smiled. "You never have." That night he sat in his car, watching the shop's soft golden light spill across the sidewalk. He thought about how close he'd come to losing it, to letting silence and ego break something beautiful. But saving Bean Haven, saving Nye, had reignited something in him. This wasn't just a job, it was a mission. The next morning, he gathered the staff. We're not just fixing a coffee shop," he said, voice clear. "We're building the best damn Bean Haven in the chain." He laid it out. A new menu with fresh, affordable options. A wall for community flyers, art nights, job boards. A new policy. No one gets turned away if they're hungry or need a break, and then a break. Trace it. It'll come out of my cut, he added. A no questions asked. The room buzzed. Some cheered. Others stared in disbelief. Clara grinned. "You serious?" "A dead serious," Keanu said. "This is what we should have been all along." And they got to work. Over the next month, change bloomed. Homemade pastries and budget-friendly coffee combos drew new faces. Locals pinned up poetry readings and support groups on the board. Staff settled into the new rhythm, tighter, keener, stronger. One rainy afternoon, a man in a worn coat shuffled in, his eyes downcast. Na greeted him with a warm smile, quietly sliding a coffee and scone across the counter. "Stay as long as you like," she said. Keanu watched from his table, pride swelling. This was it, not a comeback, a rebirth. Sales soared, word spread. Other locations began adopting the model. But this shop, this one shone the brightest. Because it had heart. Because it had her. One night after close, Keanu sat across from Na, the shop quiet and glowing. "You did this," she said. He shook his head. "We did, and we're just getting started." Outside, Bean Haven stood like a beacon of coffee, of warmth, of second chances. His legacy wasn't about profit margins or brand identity anymore. It was people. It was truth. It was this. Hot beverage from Bean Haven's revival. We learned that compassion and accountability can transform even the darkest corners. Keanu didn't just fix a shop. He rebuilt trust. He showed that leadership means lifting others, not standing above them. In life, we can all spot a Lisa or be an A. The choice to act with courage, with kindness, even under pressure, is what defines us. Thanks for being part of this journey. Now your turn. Speech balloon, what's a lesson you took from Keanu's tale? Loudspeaker, drop a comment. Share your story. Globe showing Europe, Africa, or tell us how you'd brew a better world. Let's keep the conversation percolating. Hot sparkles.